Hello, good evening to you. I am Noble Crosby and the headlines of the bulletin in a moment.
News360 Headlines is brought to you by Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
EcoBank, Nero Prime Water.
Tonight, Ghana's UK scholarship dispute deepens as High Commissioner flags irregular awards, while former Registrar Kingsley Ajuma denies wrongdoing and rejects public allegations.
We'll go to the Ashanti region, which has recorded Ghana's highest maternal mortality as health authorities push urgent measures to save mothers and reduce preventable deaths.
Tonight, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission defends its handling of Ghana Association of University Administrators allowances. Details shortly.
Later in business news, business confidence remains strong despite rising costs and credit constraints. That's according to AGI Business Barometer.
Before we go tonight, we'll bring you updates as Zambians vote in general election as the president's economic team gains face test in closely watched election. Welcome to the broadcast. We're live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Thank you for joining us there. We can get interactive as we settle for the details of the story starting from here.
We begin from the Ashanti region, and the region continues to record Ghana's highest maternal mortality rate, with nearly 1 in every 4 maternal deaths nationwide recorded in the region. Health authorities say the figures are worrying, but insist Ashanti's position as Ghana's major referral hub also means the region receives critical cases from across the country. Ibrahim Abubakar reports.
For every woman, pregnancy should end with the joy of holding a newborn. But for some families, the journey to motherhood ends in tragedy. In Ashanti, the numbers are raising concerns.
In 2024, it was 195.6 mothers died for every 100,000 live births. And then in 2025, we had 196.7 mothers dying per 100,000 live births. And you can see in terms of the contributions to this figure in the country. Ashanti, as Honorable said, is leading 24%.
Concerned about the trend, the Deputy Minister for Health, Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, is in the region engaging health officials and other key stakeholders on measures to reverse the trend and reduce preventable maternal death.
The reason we're here today is because we have done so much, but the so much doesn't seem to be getting us the necessary result. So something has to change, or we have to look at it from a different angle. Our maternal mortality index is actually 235 per 100,000 live births. The top 11 regions where these deaths are coming from, number 1 is Ashanti region. The deaths are here not because it's Ashanti regional problem, so don't take it personal. It is because now you're getting more referrals here. The research also shows that most of these women, by the time they get here, between 24 to 48 hours, the death has already happened.
For health authorities, the figures point to a wider problem of delays in identifying complications, inadequate capacity in peripheral facilities, and weaknesses in referral and coordination.
1, clinical mentorship. 2, let's add quarterly reviews. 3, let's think about virtual labor room where people can support others in the periphery to address them without coming. Or if they have to even come, what they have to do before they come. Then lastly, the need for us to strengthen coordination and the feedback mechanisms.
With just 4 years to 2030, Ghana's target for the Sustainable Development Goal of reducing maternal death to 70 per 100,000 live births remains a daunting challenge. And in Ashanti, where the country's most complicated maternal cases are increasingly being referred, health authorities say saving more mothers will require action long before they arrive at the region's major hospitals.
Now, still on lives lost, but back here in the capital, 11 people have died and others injured after a tipper truck collided with a Sprinter bus at the Ofanko barrier on the Accra-Kumasi highway in the early hours of Thursday. The crash left the Sprinter bus badly mangled, trapping several passengers inside and triggering a major rescue operation at the scene.
We were told that since the initial injured persons were transported or carted to the hospital, we've had one more of those injured, adding to the fatalities that have been recorded. So the casualties are high, but also same has been the fatalities. 11 so far for a gruesome morning accident that has witnessed over 7 to about 8 cars that have been crashed and mangled together as a result of the accident.
I heard around 5:30, so I have to rush here. So when I came, in fact, the whole place was very bad, and the dead bodies were being taken away. So I met one of the eyewitness. So he narrated a story to me. He told me that there's a boboya which was knocked down by a Toyota driver. So the driver did not stop and went away. So the boboya, the driver died on the spot. So the police van came and met the dead body. So the police van, the white van that is parked there. So it's only one police officer in the car. So he parked and started stopping the car to direct the traffic. So when he parked, he says there is another tipper truck driver who did not know what is happening. So when he saw the policeman stop him, so he stopped. Then there's some cars behind, an other passenger car behind. So he did not know that the truck has passed. So he came and hit the truck. Yes, he came and hit the truck. Then there's another third car who did not know that there is an accident. So he also came and hit the passenger car. So the passenger car got cramped in the middle. In the passenger car, that is where the passengers were. About 15 passengers were in that van.
Still in the Greater Accra region, 2 armed robbers have been killed in a shootout with the police in Accra. The robbers, 3 in number, stationed their vehicles close to some banks in the attempt to rob, but police foiled the robbery, leading to the arrest of 1 person.
We are told that today, this morning, around 8 a.m., this very spot where you see this vehicle, this is not a vehicle that was involved in the incident, but around 8 a.m., a vehicle parked here from that time till about 1 p.m. Let me bring one eyewitness that was in here. He happens to be a private security personnel who says that he saw everything. Let's engage with him. Boss, how are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
My name is Barnabas. Barnabas.
Barnabas, so you saw everything as it happened?
Yeah, I saw the car parked here, and then I saw the security officers too came around. So immediately they came around, the car moved. So to this side, when they were going, the security officers then stopped them, but they didn't stop. That was when they started shooting their tie, and then they left.
Our security room, when I saw a CID car, vehicle, yes, they were trying to approach one car that was parked beside our hotel. So immediately, what I saw that the car was rushed, they wanted to run away. So the CIT guys started shooting. So when they started shooting, then the car just moved away. Then they followed them.
This is a spot where we are told the alleged armed robbers were gunned down. So if you look on the floor, you see the blood stains right here. You also a vendor here, and you also saw what happened.
Yes, please.
What did you see?
I start here, no, na say knockout, na say she konemo. So I start na me kra me come adwum say we will be born knockout there. How but actually be that second na be say na police former be guide you hana. Ka bia betwem, ka be the speed betwem. Wow. And yes, Antina kakra ne hu say am robbery car ne be fam wa hana police form di echire. Nti police for mu die che na back we so abe cross am rob before mu wa.
Okay.
Nti omo be cross na police for mu de omo die che na tutu na de be cross omo asusu tutu. Ti na ye fe pan like police for mu ya.
Na fe. As a war movie.
We de me hu bi da we real action movie.
Away from safety and security, a dispute over unpaid scholarships for Ghanaian PhD and master's students in the UK and a new verification exercise is exposing fresh questions about Ghana's foreign scholarship scheme. High Commissioner Saba Zita Benson alleges that some awards cover not only students but also their spouses and children, while more than 180 scholarships were granted in January 2025, leaving the new administration with over £35 million in obligations.
Under the arrangement, government takes responsibility for approved costs such as tuition and stipends, with the Scholarship Administration in Ghana working through Ghana's High Commission in London to support beneficiaries and deal with their universities. But some students say the payments have fallen into arrears, leaving them demanding that government settle outstanding fees and allowances. Now, as the High Commission moves to verify beneficiaries before further payment, High Commissioner Saba Zita Benson says a review of the records is uncovering what she describes as serious irregularity.
I knew when I took office that we were owing about £35 million. And as of last year, we paid £3 million out of the £35 million. And this year, we have started paying some of these debts. But this year, when I visited Edinburgh in Scotland, a group of young people came up to me and they said that they were part of the 2025-2026 admissions. And look, I was shocked because so far as I'm concerned, this NDC government has not sent any students for 2025-2026 academic year. And 2025 is when NDC took office. And so I started my investigations. And then I found out that the previous registrar had brought in 189 students, amounting to about 3.1 or almost 3.2 million pounds. And they were in various universities. Bangor University in Wales alone had about 56 students who entered in January when His Excellency John Mahama had taken power. This man had no business sending students in 2025 to incur more liability on the new government. He had no business doing that.
She alleges that some scholarship packages went beyond the students themselves, with taxpayers also paying for spouses, children, airfares, and allowances for dependents.
Tuition is free, government is paying for it, stipends is free, and then the person, the awardee, comes along with the whole family. Some of these families were as many as 4 children plus spouse, 5 children plus spouse, 3 children plus spouse. And what I can tell you for a fact, my eyes have seen the documents and the payments. I know the travel agents that was collecting these payments to buy tickets for them. It's just I don't want to put their name out there. But they know, listening to me, that travel consult, they know that what I'm saying is true. We paid for whole families, for whole families to move in with their parents and their spouses to come and study master's degree. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
Meanwhile, former registrar of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, Dr. Kingsley Agyeman, has denied allegations of wrongdoing in connection with the award of scholarships during the previous NPP administration. In a statement issued through his lawyers on Thursday, August 13, Dr. Agyeman says he executed his work as former registrar of the Secretariat with utmost diligence and therefore denies any wrongdoing. According to him, claims being made against him by Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK and Ireland are only intended to renew public ridicule against him. His lawyers say investigations into allegations of corruption surrounding scholarship awards during his administration have already been initiated by the appropriate state security and investigative agencies.
Now to the universities. General outpatients, specialist clinic and pharmacy counseling services at the University of Ghana Hospital Legon has been suspended effective August 13 due to an industrial action by the Ghana Association of University Administrators. While emergency services remain available, routine patients are advised to seek alternative arrangements. My colleague Nura Mohammed was at the hospital when filed this report.
The Ghana Association of University Administrators, GAWA strike, follows what the group says are long-standing concerns over disparities in remuneration between teaching and non-teaching staff. Patients seeking medical attention and care at the University of Ghana Hospital here in Legon have been turned away as the management have called on a temporary suspension of all OPD services here at the University of Ghana Hospital in Legon. And so most of these patients have had no other option but to turn back with their various ailments to seek medical attention elsewhere. The outpatient department, OPD, usually swarming with patients, was nearly empty as several patients were told that medical professionals on duty were on strike. Relatives of some patients expressed frustration over the strike and its impact on them.
They sacked them to go because they said the doctors are on strike. So since early this morning, all those who were sick, the patients that came around were asked to go back home because the doctors are on strike. So they didn't allow them to enter.
If I didn't follow my mom, I wouldn't know that they are on strike because she started coming here on Monday. And always, if she comes home here, she will be asking her, have they taken care of her? And she said no. And the person too is suffering. You can even see it all over his face.
We learned there are just 2 doctors around. They are trying to take care of my son, but my mom has to go home because they think her situation is not an emergency. I don't know what an emergency is, but I mean 1 minute of care can save somebody's life. What you think is not an emergency could actually be an emergency.
The strike action is still on, and we at TV3 will bring you up to speed with any recent developments concerning the strike by the Ghana Association of University Administrators here at the University of Ghana Hospital at Legon. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News.
In a related development, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has criticized members of the Ghana Association of University Administrators over what it describes as unfair accusations that the commission has failed to ensure the payment of their allowances. Dr. Smith Graham is the Chief Executive of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission.
The argument they are putting across is very unfair to us, very unfair to the labor front, and very unfair to everybody. First of all, we've met with them, had lengthy discussions with them, and concluded negotiations with them. And then it came to the time of UTAG. We also had the same lengthy negotiation and concluded with UTAG. It is surprising that when you see one group concludes its negotiation, you go and look at yours and then start doing that comparison. In the labor front, that is not even done. If GAWA has a problem, they should come to Fair Wage and Salaries Commission during the Independent Development Commission discussion, and they should come as GAWA. The issue of riding on the back of another union is something when we encourage, there will be chaos. No salary administration can encourage that because they do different jobs all together, and so we cannot put them together like that. So I'm telling them that they should prepare. And the Independent Development Commission is here. There's likely to be a job evaluation again. The reason why Fair Wages some time ago started taking Labour Commission to court was because of this.
Now to another dispute. Ghana's superior courts are currently on their annual legal vacation, a period that runs from August 1 to September 30. But this year's vacation has triggered an unusual dispute between sections of the legal profession and the judiciary. Critics, including some opposition figures, have also questioned why certain high-profile cases are being prioritized while Ghana's courts continue to carry a significant backlog. Here's an explainer on how vacation courts work and why this year's arrangement is generating so much debate.
Legal vacation is a period provided for under Ghana's court rules during which the normal sittings of the superior courts are suspended or reduced. The Judicial Service officially lists 3 vacation periods: Christmas, Easter, and the long vacation. The long vacation runs from August 1 to September 30 every year. But legal vacation does not mean that Ghana's justice system completely shuts down for 2 months. During the vacation, certain judges are designated to sit as vacation courts. Their traditional role is to deal with urgent matters that cannot reasonably wait until the regular legal year resumes. These can include applications such as bail, injunctions, and other interlocutory or emergency matters. There are also virtual court arrangements which allow some proceedings to continue during the vacation. A quick search on the Judicial Service website will reveal that during this vacation period, 26 judges across the country have been given warrants to sit in the Greater Accra, Eastern, Central, Northern, Western, Ashanti, Volta, and Upper East regions. What this means is that the judges issued the warrants by the Chief Justice will continue to hear the substantive cases as well as new motions, interlocutory applications, bail requests, among others, from other courts whose judges are on vacation. Importantly, the warrants issued by the Chief Justice are not limited by case name. For example, a warrant authorizing Justice Francis Apongabunu Achibonga to sit during the vacation empowers him to conduct hearings at the specialized courts 1. The disagreements began after some lawyers received notices requiring them to appear during the vacation to continue part-head criminal cases. Among the cases affected are the trials of former National Signals Bureau Director Kwabna Edubuahin, former NAFCO Chief Executive Hanan Abdulwahab Aludiba, former NPO CEO Mustafa Abdulhamid, and NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Wonsumi. The Ghana Bar Association has subsequently petitioned the Chief Justice. The GBA argues that the legal vacation is intended to provide judges, lawyers, and judicial staff with a period of rest after the demanding second term of the legal year. It says vacation courts have traditionally handled urgent interlocutory matters, not substantive trials. But this is inaccurate. This arrangement is not new. A quick throwback will reveal that as far back as 2011, then Chief Justice Georgina Wood directed commercial courts in Accra and Kumasi to sit during the legal vacation in order to reduce the backlog of cases which had a direct financial implication on businesses. Again, in 2024, during the trial of now Finance Minister Dr. Kesio Atuforsen and 2 others, certain applications were heard during the legal vacation, even as the substantive had been adjourned to October. The impression, therefore, that only a few cases have been selected for the vacation courts is inaccurate. Here's the list of the vacation courts and their judges. Lord Idwasari, TVC News, Accra.
In more news tonight, the new Patriotic Party is encouraging healthy competition among aspirants for its national executive election set to happen on October 3, with strong guidelines issued to guarantee an event-free process. Nominations will open from August 17, while filing of the forms will take place from August 23, as relevant eligibility criteria have been outlined. Christian Yali reports.
Chairman of the NPP's National Elections Committee, Frederick Opare-Ansah, outlined a calendar of events ahead of the election, urging prospective candidates to study the rules governing the process.
The approved cost of nomination forms is as follows. For the national chairmanship position, it's 50,000 Ghana cedis. For vice chairpersons, 30,000 Ghana cedis. For the general secretary position, 25,000 Ghana cedis. All other positions, 10,000 Ghana cedis, with a special consideration for the special wings. Nasara, women and youth paying 8,000 Ghana cedis.
Members of the National Elections Committee cannot contest or affiliate themselves with any aspirant. The party says at least 1/3 of delegates to the National Delegate Conference must be present to form a quorum.
An aspirant must be a known and active registered party member for at least 2 years. Be of good character. Be a member in good standing. Pay the prescribed fees. Satisfy the National Vetting Committee that he or she qualifies to contest. We therefore encourage prospective aspirants to study the regulations carefully before submitting their nominations. We also expect that competition to be conducted with respect to one another, respect for the party, and respect for the rules governing the election.
The New Patriotic Party says it has put down enough structures for persons who may be aggrieved, and so it has set up a vetting committee chaired by Cecilia Benadapa and also an appeals committee to be chaired by Jogate. Those aspirants who may be aggrieved can file a written petition to the appeals committee to be considered within 48 hours. But those who will still not like the outcome of the appeal decision can further appeal at the National Executive Committee.
This architecture is deliberate. We want decisions to be made according to rules, and where somebody feels aggrieved, for that person to have an established avenue for redress. Our appeal to everybody is therefore to use the institutions and procedures established by the party.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has assured chiefs and people of the Upper East region that construction of the long-awaited Upper East Regional Airport will begin before the end of 2026. During an inspection of the proposed airport site, the president said procurement was progressing and expressed confidence that construction would soon begin.
We want to open up the country to air travel because there are some people who want to go very quickly to Accra, transact their business and come back quickly. You cannot sit in a bus for 11 hours going to Accra and 11 hours coming back. And so the time has come for Upper East to have an airport. Before passengers from Upper East have to drive 100 miles, 160 kilometers to Tamale to catch the aircraft from Tamale to Accra. And when they come, they drop in Tamale and they have to drive 160 kilometers to come back to the Upper East. That will be a thing of the past. You'll be able to fly from here directly to Accra without driving to Tamale. And so this is going to be an important enabler of economic activity. Aside from that, there are many visitors here in the Upper East region. We have the gold mines. They have to move their gold down to Accra. Sometimes they have to use a bullion van or charter a helicopter. And so it will be easy for them to bring it here and fly their gold bullion to Accra. And so, like he said, the project is 24 months. I've been following the process of the procurement. I want us to let it go quickly. There are 3 airports. Wa Airport, Wa is getting a new airport. Upper East is getting an airport, and then Sunyani is also getting a new.
And away from the Upper East region, mobile money merchants are being urged to strengthen their knowledge of fraud prevention and regulatory compliance as digital financial transactions continue to expand. The call was made at the 2026 MOMAC Capacity Building Forum organized by the Mobile Money Advocacy Group in partnership with Telecel Ghana and other stakeholders.
With mobile money becoming an increasingly important part of Ghana's digital economy, concerns over fraud and other security threats continue to pose challenges to both merchants and customers. It is against this backdrop that the Mobile Money Advocacy Group, MOMAG, partnered Telecel Ghana and other stakeholders to build the capacity of mobile money merchants. President of MOMAG, Edward Oforiajiman, explained why the partnership was necessary and the impact the initiative is expected to have on the industry.
We all know in the country how fraud is going on. However, the agent need to be trained. So that is the reason why today we have partnered with Telecel Ghana to make sure that the businesses they are doing, they would do everything in compliance with regulations.
Beyond security, organizers say the forum is also aimed at helping mobile money merchants better understand the risk associated with their operations and the need to remain alert to the changing tactics of fraudsters.
We are working with the MOMAG of Ghana as a mobile money agent network to collaborate on our various efforts to improve their capability. One of the best ways is to equip them so that they will be better positioned to serve our customers better.
For participants, the forum provided an opportunity to gain practical knowledge on how to identify suspicious transactions, protect their businesses, and adapt to the changing demands of the digital financial space.
In fact, I've learned something that is going to boost my business, especially in the terms of Telisol mobile money issue. And as I'm going, I hope I'm going to teach people around my area so they should all come to Telisol and then let us enjoy from Telisol.
You're watching News 360 live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Going for a quick break, but before that, there's a weather update.
Weather News segment is brought to you by Syntex Tank.
The Business News segment is brought to you by MTN. 4 points by Sheraton Accra Airport Hotel.
Good evening. Welcome to the business segment on News 360 with me, Menu Aful. In our first story, Ghana's growing urban population continues to put pressure on the country's transport system, with traffic congestion and inadequate infrastructure affecting productivity and economic activity. The concerns were highlighted at the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting, with a report on the discussions presented to the Ministry of Transport by Graphic Communications Group Limited. We'll bring you details of that report later. Away from that, business confidence in Ghana remains strong in the second quarter of 2026, with the Business Confidence Index recording 108.7 in the second quarter of 2026. Now, this is according to the AGI Business Barometer release in Accra.
According to AGI, this reflects continued optimism over macroeconomic stability and government economic reform agenda. Chief Executive Officer of AGI, Seth Chuma-Kwabwa, noted there are still external shocks that could dampen the confidence.
We have a baseline we call the 100 mark baseline. Any point above the baseline means that the confidence level is really high, and any point below it means that people are not very confident about the economy. They are hoping that the current war that is going on in Iran could stop, so that its potential negative effect will not be too devastating. If it is, then there isn't much. Businesses don't have control over it, and then they will see the impact negatively on their bottom line. For now, government has done well in containing the situation. I think.
However, President of the association, Farm Kofin Siapoku, noted businesses continue to face significant cost pressures, particularly from electricity tariffs, which remain a major challenge to the operating environment.
Just at the beginning of the year, we were told that ECG has been instructed to withdraw that bulk arrangement, which automatically brought about 48% increase in electricity costs, making these companies uncompetitive.
The AGI called for a more supportive business environment.
Our VAT rate is still high, and then several other taxes. The businesses cite as one of the challenges. There's also the issue of cost of raw materials, because we import a lot of our raw materials. So it means that we need to deepen our value chains.
Per the AGI Business Barometer for Q2 2026, business outlook remains optimistic, with continued macroeconomic stability expected to support growth the second half of the year despite persistent external risk.
Let's take you back to our earlier report on Ghana's growing urban population, which continues to put pressure on the country's transport system, with traffic congestion and inadequate infrastructure affecting productivity and economic activity.
These concerns are featured prominently in discussions at the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting, with stakeholders calling for fresh approaches to transfinancing and development. The report presented to the Ministry of Transport highlights the need for stronger stakeholder collaboration, sustainable funding, and greater private sector participation in developing alternative transport systems.
Anybody who comes to Ghana must see that Ghana is the flagship of our continent. In other areas we are doing well. Transport, we can do better. So the report has a lot, and we trust that handing this over to the ministry will help the ministry to also respond to some of these calls, some of these suggestions, and with time we'll be coming back to get updates on what you are doing, where we are. If there are any bottlenecks, you share with us.
The ministry says the recommendations will feed into its ongoing policy development, particularly as government seeks private capital to expand the country's transport infrastructure.
The kind of transport system that can support the urban development that we are seeing today. Talk about the rail systems, talk about the sky trains, talk about the bus systems, routing, and so on and so forth. You also talk about the fact that we have traffic in town. And so our purpose as a ministry is to channel policies that would address all those things. And so we will take this and take all the recommendations you have made and we will input them.
The ministry says it is open to proposals from the private sector to help address challenges in the transport sector.
Marking 30 years in the Ghanaian telecommunications industry, MTN Ghana has rolled out customer-centered events across the country to celebrate its loyal subscribers. Senior Manager for Products, User Experience and Design, Eric Pupulampu, says consumers play a key role in sustaining the company and their loyalty deserves to be appreciated.
To mark the 3-decade milestone, MTN Ghana treated subscribers to members-only perks under a campaign themed 30 Years of Progress Powered by You. MTN Ghana says the celebrations form part of a broader push to go beyond connectivity and deliver real value to its customers.
It's primarily about encouraging customers to do more and be a part of the family, right? So it's just our way of giving back to the community, having been existent for the past 30 years. To join in, you just have to dial *530 and you can be able to find your zone and information about the promotion and all that. So it's a simple one. It doesn't require any draw, doesn't require any game of chances. It is straightforward.
With the country grouped into 3 zones for the promotion, top-ranked earners in each zone stand to drive away with brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados alongside cash prizes.
I'm very, very happy. I encourage everyone to play and win.
As part of the wider anniversary package, there are several other cash and lifestyle rewards across the price structure, ensuring more customers benefit every month. The promotion runs until 31st August 2026.
Let's now take a look at how the cedi is faring against other trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are also faring on the global markets. Business tonight on News 360. I am Minu Alfu. We have more news updates coming your way. Stay with us.
Let's do some sports here on News 360. My name is Mutala Iakobo. Now, ahead of the 2026 3FM Tour du Ghana, Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable Jifa Abla Gomashi, has called for an all-inclusive approach as a strategic way of positioning Ghana as a leading hub for sports and tourism. Now, 3FM Tour du Ghana is set to take place on August 28th and 29th.
The rhythm is wings on which we are going to fly. Promoting and branding and celebrating Ghana is not an individual's job. It needs all of us to put our shoulders to the wheel. And one of the ways in which we can showcase our country is to join forces with TV3 and its Ride the Rhythm to expose what we are not able to do, and also use the opportunity to include sports and all the other entertainment domains, so that packaging what we have as Ghana becomes easier to do.
3FM Tour du Ghana would happen on August 28th and 29th. Let's move to boxing, where undefeated Ghanaian boxer John Laye Obato Roblebo in Argentina on Saturday in the WBA World Eliminator at the featherweight division as he moves closer to a world title. The boxer, who has been making final preparations over the week on Argentinian soil, has been closely guided by manager Sami Enimado and legendary footballer Asamoah Gyan. Gyan and Enimado, speaking to TV3, believes Laye is ready to earn a victory.
Listen, I'm not a boxer, but I will inspire you with what I have been through. You know, when it comes to crowd and everything and going to somebody's territory. You know, the fans are going to shout. You know, the fans are going to shout. I always tell him, even when I was playing, my most goals that I scored for Ghana was away. My most goals that I scored was an away game, you know. So it's like the fans will be cheering, but you and the opponent are in the ring, and he knows what they are going to do to him. So don't just forget about the crowd, and then focus on you and the person in the ring, you know. So he knows what is at stake, and we've watched his clips. We've seen his weakness. We've seen everything. We've had a good game plan that we're going to exhibit. That is what we do. We are there to just guide the boy.
The bout is on Saturday. Let's do some football now, where the Black Queens kept their dreams of making the 2027 World Cup alive with a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Ivory Coast. Princess Mafo and Josephine Barr scored for the Queens, who will now have it all to do in the World Cup playoffs. The following report has more details.
To qualify to the semi-finals of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations, the Black Queens of Ghana have successfully booked a spot in the playoff tournament for the 2027 Women's World Cup, which will be hosted in Brazil. They edged out Cote d'Ivoire in a 2-1 victory, where Princess Mafo and Josephine Bonsu scored to make sure that Ghana's dreams of qualifying to the World Cup is kept alive. However, this means as the Queens fight for a place in the World Cup 2027, they would also have to be fighting for their spot in the 2028 Olympic Games. In October this year, they will start their pursuit for their maiden appearance at the Olympic Games against Mauritius and play other qualifiers if they are able to qualify from the second round of the competition, which means the Black Queens of Ghana are about to be very busy, because in the playoff tournament, they have 4 matches to play, 3 in the preliminary round and 1 in the final round, if they are able to successfully qualify from the preliminary round. But for now, the Queens will be excited that their dreams of making it back into the World Cup after missing it for 2 decades is still kept alive.
Who is the Black Queens of the best in the Intercontinental Playoff? My name is Mutala Yakubu, and this is Sports on News 360.
insecticide spray and coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, Ghanaian music legend Kojo Antwi has paid a courtesy visit to the Asantehene Otumfuo Seitu II at Meisha Palace during the Ewukude Festival. The Mr. Music Man presented 300 copies of his memoir, Mr. Music Man, The Journey to Otumfuo, and another 50 copies to the Asantehene Her Royal Highness Queen Nanaya Echal II, whom he also congratulated on her instrument. Kojo Antwi revealed that his next album will be launched at Meisha Palace in honor of Otumfuo, although a date for the launch is yet to be announced. And now into some more stories. A federal judge has dismissed a child sex trafficking lawsuit brought by 4 Casio siblings who alleged they were sexually abused by Michael Jackson as children. Judge Hernan de Vera ruled Wednesday that the allegations must be handled in confidential arbitration, citing a 2019 settlement agreement between the family and Jackson's estate. Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
On the international front, Zambians voted on Thursday in a national election that will test whether President Hakainde Hichileme's economic gains since a pandemic-era debt crisis are enough to win him a second term. Analysts say Hichilema 64 is favored to win due to advantages of incumbency and a fractured opposition, although his main rival, first-time presidential candidate Brian, has drawn large crowds.
And that's of News 360. There's more news always on our website, 3news.com. I am Noble Crosby.
And I am Portia Gabo. Good evening.